I'm going to do my little flex just a tad bit because the same year that KJ won a James Beard, so did I. So specializing in food systems, being a healthcare professional. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, brother. And let's get started. So a little bit about myself. My name is Christa Barfield. I hail from the great city and state of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I do steward one of the largest black-owned farms in the country that grows food specifically. While I love our other farmers that specialize in growing grain, growing food is sustenance. It's so important for, just like Shah just said, knowing where your food comes from. I am a healthcare professional first, worked in healthcare administration for years, over a decade, and ended up becoming burnt out and decided that I was going to transition. But that healthcare has followed me. I believe that combining healthcare and food is how we thrive. And so I have my formula that is social health, physical health, and environmental health. And every single decision that I make within my organization has to touch on all three. And so I decided on that to ensure that, yes, we are taking care of our environment because we only get one. We're taking care of our body because we also only get one. And that's societal health, making sure that each and every body knows exactly where their food is coming from and understands where to go to get it. How many knows who their farmer is in your neck of the woods? How many can say you've connected with your farmer at any given moment? After we have this talk today, I hope that each of you will go to wherever you live and make sure that you seek to know where your food is coming from, who's growing that food, and understand that you have every single right to walk onto that farm to be able to see how they're growing your food. All food is not created equal. And so that is what we're really honing in on, is that a lot of the issues that we have with our health, especially as most of us being people of color, that all derives from where our food is coming from and how it's being grown. So knowing your folks, knowing your farmer is so, so important. So I started growing food in 2018. I resigned from my job January 2nd, 2018, and I decided to start growing food on small little plots of land around Philadelphia. So I had about just over 1,000 square feet. So not much land at all. That's me sitting there growing tomatoes and really just making sure people understood that even on a very small piece of land, you can create a profitable business. I come from a business background. I never touched soil before 2018. And so when I decided to get started, I'm like, I'm going to reverse engineer this. A lot of farmers, it's considered to be a pauper occupation. But how can you be poor as a farmer if you are growing what everyone needs to survive? And so I decided to think about that and continue to grow my business. So then I went from having small little lots of land throughout Philadelphia, and I transitioned to having a 1 acre plot. And this 1 acre plot now is our training farm. It's where we train black and brown people, young people, single women. I pretty much fall into all of those categories. Young, considered to be a young farmer is 35 and younger. I'm now 37. However, when I first began 7 years ago, the real focus was making sure that everybody could have access to understanding how to grow food. So growing from small lot to then having 1 acre, and then now stewarding over 128 acres across the state of Pennsylvania. And so just a little correction to what KJ said, Farmer Jawn is the largest black-owned farm that grows food in the entire state of Pennsylvania. We are also the largest black-owned farm that grows food in the entire northeastern United States. So I live by a see it, be it model, making sure that people understand that even without experience, you just have to have the drive. And you understand how to do something is only limited by your own ambition. And so the hard truth is 27% of U.S. children eat the recommended daily amount of vegetables. That's it. 67% of most children's diets is processed foods. And that's a major issue. And so who do those children become? Who were they? They were us at one point. In 1991, 61% of the children's diet was processed foods, and now 67 since 2018. And I'm sure it's risen since then. So we are now working to get us going in the right direction, which is making sure that we are eating whole foods. And what that means is that understanding that, yes, that carrot top that you don't normally get to even eat, in a grocery store, yes, it's edible. Understanding that turnip greens, how many of y'all know about turnip greens? It's the South. Turnip greens actually come from a turnip. Broccoli greens, collard greens. Collard greens are all related to kale. They are part of the kale family. Understanding the origins of food is so, so important. So when I recognized that, I started to say, I'm going to open a grocery store, because why not? Why not? The people that are growing our food, the stores that are carrying your food are not really focused on where they're getting the food from. They're getting it from large distributors, and this food is coming from 1,500 to 3,000 miles away before it even hits your plate. So I believe that agriculture is the culture. That means that everything that you touch every single day, whether it be the food, the drinks that you're having, the food you're eating, the tables that you're eating your meals on, all of that is because of a farmer somewhere, somehow. The clothes you're wearing, the shoes, all of it. There's components of that is thanks to a farmer. So it's really making sure that you recognize that every day you need to think that agriculture is the culture, is becoming a part of your lifestyle, and that lifestyle change, that shift in your mind, is going to have a direct benefit to your health. So just to give you some history about Pennsylvania, and there's a lot of Native history all across our country, I give thanks to the Lennon and Lape people every single time I touch my feet onto my land, because they were there first. And so that transition, really making sure that you understand the history of wherever you hail from. Who were the people that were there before, the traditions that they had around food, because all of our food tells a story. And I like to make sure people understand that even the seeds tell a story. A lot of the African crops that we love to eat, someone mentioned collard greens earlier, it's so important that you get that all of that is connected back to your roots. Unearthing depleted essence. This is a design. We're working on creating infrastructure where what I embody, what I believe, that food is medicine and everybody should know who their farmer is, that somebody can actually understand how to apply that into their life by walking into a physical structure. So I worked with an amazing Black woman-owned design company called Determined by Design. If you're familiar with Mark Lamont Hill, he has a coffee shop in Philadelphia that's called Uncle Bobby's, and she also designed his cafe. And she's working on a design for me to help me embody what it means to be a Black woman living on lands of Native people and wanting to drive this message home of understanding where your food comes from. So I began my very first company within Farmer Jawn was growing my own herbs to create them into teas. So we do a variety of different things, and I connect that back to health, making sure that people understand that the herbs that they're having have a direct benefit to your bodily functions. So this is just a product line that we're working on, and we also work using all of that land to help other people that have a dream of their own product line to be able to create that. And then once they have that product line, these are called value-add products, or CPGs, consumer packaged goods. And this terminology is so, so important to know, because this is where the wealth lies in the food industry. So this is why I stress this to you. I just got here this morning from California at Expo West, and those, if you're not familiar with the Natural Products Expo, it's a very, very important event that takes place in the food industry that is taking foods that are prepared, whether you make a sauce, whether you make an amazing cereal, there's so many things, flours, collard greens, canned, everything. Those products need a home at some point, and there's not enough Black and brown faces that are doing these products at a high level, being able to have national and international distribution, and that is what we help people do. And so once you have those products, you need a place to home them. It is very, very difficult to be able to take your products and get them shelved. Farmer Jawn has created what I call Corner Jawn. Corner Jawn is a food is medicine concept corner store. Our very first one is opening in Philadelphia in Kensington section of the city. And if you heard anything about Kensington on the news, out of 46 neighborhoods in the city of Philadelphia, Kensington has the lowest health outcomes throughout the entire city. And that is where I'm putting my first store. So could you go back to that last slide for me? There's space here where obviously there are products that I have, beverages that we have that we already create ourselves, but there's a ton of space here for other people's products, for other people who say, yes, I care about the earth, I care about the planet, I care about sustainability, I care about health. and they create a product, and that's the type of products that we put on our shelves, nothing less than that. And so that is the invitation that I give to you, whomever you may know, to make sure that you reach out to myself, our Director of Agritourism here, Melissa Lotus. You give a wave, Melissa, where are you? Oh, there you are. Planning all of our events, but also making connections to ensure that we have proper products on our shelves that we're giving back to our community for the benefit of health. Creating communal spaces where we can gather and be together and have conversations. Not your typical corner store, but when you walk into that front portion, you have the opportunity to see grab-and-go items, amazing, delicious beverages that we derived, delicious teas, honeys, so many different products, and then you get to walk to the back and you have a communal space. And then beyond that, there's a courtyard and back beyond that as well. So there's some outdoor space. You can go to the next side. But this is the ultimate vision. This is agriculture reimagined. And what KJ mentioned is that, yes, we are an urban farm, and that's important to understand. A lot of people, when they think about urban, they think small. But when you think about urban, you should actually think big. Because urban and rural connections, there's so much that farmers have to learn from each other, no matter what scale you're growing on. And the other part that's big is that the majority of people live in urban communities. 70% of the world's population are eating in urban centers. And so that is where I believe we need to make farming convenient and bring the food to where the people are. And so the whole idea of ensuring that there's growing space in the city, in addition to also having a place where people can receive their food from, it gives that optical connection to understanding that, wow, this is where food actually comes from. This is how it's grown. So many people have no idea how tomatoes are grown. So many people have no clue that the broccoli plant is one of the largest vegetables that grows. There's so much of that plant, and you only get to see the crown of it. And so this is about recognizing that we take care of our bodies by making sure that we're consuming the entire plant. So my true mantra, and what I have always believed, and I really got a chance to hone in on this over the last few years, is that to heal a nation is to feed them well. And we all know that our nation, especially right now, needs a lot of healing. So we know what to do. Thank you.